finish the rest of eating a piece of chicken. Well, guys, I think I learned my lesson from the stream I did before this one. First off, again, what's going on, guys? Once again, this is called the Man Nights 93. I'm here live again, a second time, on this nice, surprising afternoon off I got from work. After we had a power outage at work due to a bad storm we had earlier this afternoon. So I came home, and I thought I might as well get caught up with some things. So here I am live again, as I'll go live now. My friend Joe's coming soon, and him and Daniel Geisa and I will be going down to the Peterson Events Center for AEW Dynamite in a few hours. Of course, that's a show I'm actually excited about. And I can tell after getting done with last stream, with how heavy-eyed I started to feel, I'm just like, yeah, it really is time for a break from some wrestling content on this channel. Not completely, but just some. But I can definitely tell you, unless I do something miraculous at NXT TakeOver 36, this could be one of my last NXT reviews, for now. Because, like I said, with everything that happened last week, basically telling us fans being told basically that NXT does not matter. NXT is going to be changing because NXT is full of a bunch of 30-year-old midgets, as Vince McMahon basically put it as. So, my thing is, again, NXT TakeOver 36 is basically a finale for me. I didn't watch NXT this week, again, because I was with my girlfriends, but when I watch the highlights, I'm just like, none of this really matters, does it? Because after TakeOver 36, things are going to change. So, I watched it. I thought some things, honestly, were not going to be that bad. But I still didn't grade it based off the highlights I got because, like I said, watch it, it felt like this just doesn't matter. This does not matter. It's not going to mean a thing after TakeOver 36. There's no long-term direction for any of this. So, let's talk about it, get it over with, then I'm going to Dynamite. Thanks for joining me again, Tyler. Where do we get? It looks like we started off with Dakota Kai and Saray. It was supposed to be Ember Moon against Dakota Kai for the millionth time, but then apparently Ember Moon was not cleared to compete. So Saray would compete instead. Before the match, though, I guess Dakota had a say where she calls Raquel Gonzalez out and says she's going to defeat the undefeated signing and show everyone that we're looking at the next NXT Women's Champion, which I honestly wouldn't mind that at all. Dakota, though, beats Saray by pinfall, as she should. Afterwards goes for another kick, but then Raquel Gonzalez shows up and scares her off. She gets on the mic and says how Dakota will never beat her and never hold the title. If she wanted a chance, all she had to do was ask, which, my gosh, I always keep saying, I hate that thing because I thought you had to earn title opportunities. What, if you wanted a shot, all you had to do was ask. I hate that, but she'll see her take over and tear apart. Oh yeah, then throughout the night, let me ask a question. So last week's match with Johnny Gargano versus Dexter Lumis was, if Johnny won, no more Dexter Lumis. If Lumis won, then, well, basically no more Indy Hartwell, Dexter Lumis. But if Lumis won, then Lumis had to be welcomed into the family, into the way, or the family, as it is apparently. Because apparently, Indy and Austin are their kids, but Austin ran away from home, so they own them or whatnot. It's so freaking weird. But Johnny won, yet Indy still stayed with Dexter. Which I'm like, okay, it looks like that Indy's done with the way, and this is her going with Dexter instead of the way. No! So, Indy Hartwell is at the Garganos getting ready for a date with Dexter Lumis. And basically this was Johnny and Candice playing parents. And I'm like, wait a minute. Johnny won last week, right? So if Johnny won, then why are they... And if Indy chose Dexter over them, why is Indy still with the way? So that made that match completely pointless, because it was just a segment, them going to dinner, Johnny and Candice were creeping on them and whatnot, being, overprotective parents, being ridiculous. They had Johnny come out with some cake with some ridiculous wig on it, and then Candice is hiding behind a menu with these walkie-talkies, and it's just... It made me hate this whole way thing more. Like, for crying out loud, it's like I just miss Johnny Gargano as a sympathetic babyface, and now he's just a rambling coward who just makes absolutely no sense in anything he gets upset by. He gets upset because he's a heel, and it just drives me nuts. So yeah, they go to dinner. Basically, even though Johnny and Candice crashed out how many times, and Indy did all the talking, and Dexter did no talking, it's like, what on earth was even accomplished with them talking? Like, why are they even in love? There's just nothing between the romance here. And the whole thing ends with Indy going for a kiss, and she puts a hand in front of the camera. So that made this love angle look even more stupid than it was, and again, made the match between Gargano and Loomis dumb last week, because if Indy chose Loomis over the Garganos, then why are the Garganos still with Indy Hartwell? Why have they not turned against Hartwell? I mean, yes, them trying to ruin the date works for me, but the fact that she was basically still, like, friends, or whatever you want to call this relationship with the Garganos, just made no sense to me. So who cares? We have a segment with Hit Row in a storage unit, and they burn a luchador mask, even though, once again, aren't supposed to be the baby faces in this, so why... And we love Lucha, I don't know. So that happens there. Ilya Dragunov appears, as he has the match with Walter. He has some, segment, basically, and the thing is, again, I'm in the midst right now of trying to catch up with NXT UK. And I just watched the episode wherever Walter and Dragunov had some contract signing. That they were supposed to have the match actually a couple weeks ago on NXT UK. But because of Walter's injured hand, they wrote as an angle to delay it until TakeOver. But I don't know. I can't tell you what was set in this by Dragunov. But basically, the Dragunov that was at the contract signing on the UK show compared to the Dragunov on this felt totally different. Dragunov felt like an emotional, total different entity. This one, to me, he felt like he was just another guy. And then Pete Dunne came out, basically was like, I carried this spot on my back for the brand on the ages, and you're not going to replace me, blah, blah, blah. Dragunov was like, oh, but maybe you're just worried I'm going to do what Walter couldn't do. Well, you couldn't do the Walter, and that's beat him or whatnot. So Pete Dunne challenges Dragunov to a match later in the show, and I'm like, okay, not a bad idea for a match. LA Knight is interview with Cameron Grimes, and he takes the issue of being accused of leaving Grimes hanging, saying he lost the match last week despite Knight's best effort to keep saving him. So Knight gives him an opportunity to show his own mess, clean his own mess up, but he failed. And Ted DiBiase trying to fill his head with all his talk that he's special, but Grimes is just a butler, and there's only one man who runs this. LA Knight then beats Andre Chase. Afterwards, Knight tries to make Grimes shines his boot, but Ted DiBiase came out. They have a little bit of a thing going back and forth. Basically, DiBiase is saying how like Knight has gone too far, and how Cameron Grimes is a man of his word. And he believes in him, and he's a lot more than just a butler. He tells Cameron he can be whatever he wants to be as long as he follows his heart. He wants to be champion. He thinks that LA Knight could put the $1 million championship on the line, and he thinks Grimes would win it. Knight, though, says it's been scientifically proven that Grimes can't beat him, but I'll give him one more shot at TakeOver 36. But when he wins for the third time, Grimes won't be his butler. Ted DiBiase will. And DiBiase says it's a very interesting proposition that he's gambling. He's a gambling man. His money is on Grimes, and he's got a lot of money. So basically, they'll have another match at TakeOver 36, and if Grimes wins, then if Grimes loses, then Ted DiBiase will beat the butler instead of Grimes. So fine. Gigi Dolan has a promo where she cuts Black Rose, as it says, isn't just a job like it is for the other girls. It's about running through every top woman in the division, and she's not doing it alone. Gigi Dolan has the match with Amari Miller, and she wins. That, more off that. Then we have the segment with Regal and having Cole and O'Reilly face to face. Regal announces basically that that they're having a 2 out of 3 falls match, which each of the men pick in a stipulation, while he picks the third one. 3 stages of hell, as they're not going to say it. But Kyle O'Reilly picked a straight up wrestling match. Adam Cole picked a street fight, and then they started just barking at each other, their usual stuff. Although the ironic thing was that Adam Cole was the one getting more of a reaction than Kyle O'Reilly there. And Kyle O'Reilly was supposed to be the babyface here. But they started brawling with each other, because these two hate each other. And then Regal said, I knew this was going to happen. If there's a third stipulation, it's going to be a steel cage match. So basically, almost the same exact stipulations as Johnny Gargano and Adam Cole from TakeOver Toronto in 2019. Except the steel cage match is not going to be a barbed wire steel cage match. It's going to be just a steel cage match. I would have rather had something a little more different than a steel cage match, honestly. Something a little more extreme, like an Extreme Rules match. Well, we're doing a street fight, so maybe like Hell in a Cell, maybe, or ambulance match, maybe. Last Man Standing. I don't know. Who knows, but that's the stipulations we're getting to this 2 out of 3 falls. I'll say 3 stages of hell. Just say 3 stages of hell. That's what it needs to be. We have a segment with Ciampa and Thatcher talking about how Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan need a third man to put them down. Holland is young and big, and his industry chooses people like him, but Holland isn't Thatcher, he isn't Ciampa. 2 men will have traveled the world perfecting their craft, and they chose this industry, and they will continue to choose this industry. If Holland wants to try and make a name at their expense, they'll party. And Ciampa tries to claim the match, but Thatcher, with all due respect, says he wants Ridge, and class will be in session. We also have a promo from Imperium that gets interrupted by MSK, who mock their style of speaking and saying they're the IV drip, putting new life into the tag team division, and offers a title match because they're fighting champions all day and all night. Guess take over 36, I don't know. Odyssey Jones then defeats Trey Baxter in the NXT Breakout Tournament. I wonder why. Odyssey Jones defeated Trey Baxter quickly. Oh yeah, that's right. Remember, NXT's not there for 30-year-old midgets. Odyssey Jones, big man. Exactly what Vince wants. Exactly what NXT is turning into, basically. Odyssey's excited to punch his ticket to the finals and tells his mom that he made it. So, congratulations to him, of course, but afterwards, see Kushida leaving Regal's office. Shortly after, Malcolm Bivens tells us that he thinks that Regal had news for her. Regal comes out and says that MSK will defend their tag titles against Imperium, and Kushida will defend the Cruiserweight title against Roderick Strong next week. So I don't know if that means that the tag title match takes place next week, or if it's at TakeOver. I don't know. Boa then beat Drake Maverick. And then the main event, despite interference in the main event, there was still somewhat of a clean finish. So Pete Dunne took on Ilya Dragunov, and Dragunov got distracted by Walter. Pete Dunne went for him, but he was able to recover for like a minute. But then Dunne still beat Dragunov. And I'm just like, why? Like, it was one thing, again, Dunne didn't win completely, dirty. Like, yes, Dragunov was distracted, but he recovered and was able to get like 1 or 2 things in there before Dunne hit the bitter end. So, Dragunov loses, I don't get why, and then him and Walter have a little bit of a beatdown with leading with Dragunov though staying on top. So, why he lost to Pete Dunne, I don't know. And that's the show. Like I said, guys, this show is pointless. I tried to get back in. I got excited after TakeOver in your house, and then recent booking of Karrion Kross on Raw, releases, comments by Vince, and just so much. This is the end of NXT for me. Again, I'll review next week's show. I'll watch TakeOver 36 after that, though. Unless they do something big, I'm done with NXT. I'm done. It's dead. It's not the talent's fault. It's Vince's fault. Because he had to ruin it. So, that does it for my NXT review, guys. Leave thoughts down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video. Subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, DominatorMoney3. And with that, guys, I am out. I will see you guys all later. I will probably review AEW Dynamite tomorrow. And of course, though, I'll be going to the show tonight and enjoying it. So tell them, guys, I'm checking out. Have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.